How many of you have children? How many plan on having them one day? Many of us know that having a family and balancing a career is difficult to do. Whether you already have children or plan to have children one day, the question will arise of whether you're going to continue to work or stay home with your children. If you're like myself, I chose to stay in the workforce, and so therefore I had to find childcare for my children. This is no easy task and something that should not be taken lightly. So what I want to do is inform you on a few of the main points and things to look at when you're trying to decide on a facility or a home childcare for your children. Now, the main points that I want to touch on first is the different kinds of child facilities. The two I'm going to focus on are the home child care and then the child care center. ERC is a great tool and a great help. They have lots of lists of questions to ask, things to look for, and also lists of licensed child care in the area that you're looking for. So I encourage you to talk to them and get information from them if you are on a search. As far as the home daycares go, home daycares are good because they have that family setting. They're often pretty small. Some of the drawbacks to that, though, is that their hours could vary. They may not have such structured hours, and you would have to find definitely a backup sitter in case the home daycare needs to close. When looking at a facility, a child care center, you're looking at getting a more structured facility with the operating hours that are usually, every day the same, no matter what, and most of the time I think that they are open and have not really a good time that they close, unless it's holidays or whatnot. A second thing I'd want to talk to you about is the quality of the facility. When you're looking at facilities, you want to make sure that they have adequate room. You want to make sure that there's plenty of room for your kids and plenty of space for them to play and enjoy their friends and just be able to learn and grow. You want to make sure it's clean and sanitary. Definitely something you want to avoid, as much germs as get spread in daycares. You want to make sure that whatever facility you choose is doing their part on keeping it clean and well maintained. You want to make sure that they have a great outdoor play area. Children need that outside time when weather permits, so you want to make sure that there is that in the facility, that there is that area that when they can go out and run and exercise and get rid of some of that cooped up energy. The last thing as far as the quality of the facility that I would look for is to make sure that it's safe, to make sure that they have taken plenty of precautionary measures as far as making sure outlets are covered, making sure there's not stuff that they can climb on and get hurt. Most daycares do have to follow licensing procedures, so they are going to have this, but that is definitely one thing you want to look at when you're visiting these different centers. The second thing I'd want to talk about, or the third thing, I'm sorry, is the quality of service. You want to make sure that they provide quality child care. So one thing you'd look at is their meals. Make sure that they're offering plenty of healthy meals and snacks while your child is there. The activities are very important. You want to make sure that they're doing activities and they're having fun and they're learning at the same time. And then you want to make sure that they have great communication with the parents. A lot of centers or even home daycare send home papers every day showing what your child did and how they ate, how they slept, and you want to make sure that when you pick a child care for yourself that communication lines are open and very clear, and you want to be able to communicate with them when you're having a problem or if your child is not feeling well or whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that you can do that openly and feel good about it. The last thing as far as the quality of service is you want to make sure that the ratios of providers to children are adequate. You don't want to put your child somewhere where there's 20 other kids and you can't, they just don't get that one-on-one time that they need, or when they do need it, they don't get it. A lot of those home child cares, they have a limit of how many they can have, and then also in centers for infants, the ratio is no more than 3 infants to 1 provider. So I would just check on that and make sure that everything is working and in order that way. The last thing that I want to talk about is the cost. Now, costs are very important when looking for childcare. Sometimes it's worth it to pay a little bit more if you know you're going to get that excellent quality care, but it does hit the pocketbook. So I talked with Billy from ERC over the phone, and she gave me some average costs of daycare for birth to about 18 months. For a home daycare, the average cost per week is $150 to $170. For a center, for the center, it's $150 to $170. For a home daycare, it's $115 to $125 a week. Once you get to 18 months to about 4 years old, the costs do decline a little bit. For a center, it's about $140, and then for a home daycare, it's about $100. As far as once your children get into school age, they costs also go down at that point too. And for the summer care, where they would be out of school and be there full time, cost for a center per week is about $125, and then in home daycares, it's about an average of $95 a week. So in conclusion, the points that I just touched on, which are the kind of facility, the quality of the facility, the quality of service, and the cost, are just a few of the things you want to look for when choosing a daycare. Research them, visit multiple ones, check with the Kansas Department of Health and Environment to make sure that they're up to date on all their compliances and safety issues and licensing procedures, and then make sure that you feel good about it, and that watch your child interact in that setting and see how they feel. Our children are our future, and it's our job as responsible parents to try to provide them with the best start as possible so they can grow, mature, and become, great adults in their future. And as a final statement, I just wanted to say that, the average cost of childcare per week is $125. The average cost of raising a child to age 18, according to surebaby.com, is $125,000 to $250,000, but knowing that your child is safe and being well taken care of is priceless.